smoother than I was. But this time, the woman actually confronted me about it. She made this gesture like, hey, like I can see what you're doing. And yeah, I was embarrassed, but I was more just shocked. Until then, it actually hadn't sunk in that she could see me as well as I could see her. And that I wasn't just an invisible agent and she wasn't just a passive object. And again, it sounds intuitive and obvious, but for a lot of men, including me, it apparently isn't.
See, this is the problem so many of us have with feminism, is that you're trying to take basic human behavior and reduce it into this academic jargon so it can be condemned. You didn't literally think of yourself as an invisible agent and of her as a passive object. There's absolutely no reason for you to feel guilty about having looked at her that way because you didn't actually do anything to harm her. This is a thing humans do. We examine each other, we judge each other, and we do it for good reasons. All that's really happening there is your reptile brain going, boy, she's attractive and I would like to produce offspring with her. There's nothing wrong with that unless you actually did some kind of harm.
And what's funny is she probably went home after that and was like, what an asshole, men are hopeless. And she'll never know that in fact, because of what she did, I went home and completely re-examined my life.
But what about this scenario meant that you should have completely re-examined your life? The way you're talking about it right now seems like you do think there's something wrong with it.
What have I done?
At least you have some self-awareness.
So for a while after that, every time I would pass a gorgeous person on the street, I would lock my eyes straight ahead of me and think to myself, eyes front and center, private, or I will unscrew your head and shit down your neck.
You know, when I was in a bit better shape, I remember having a girl approach me at the train station and drunkenly ask me to fuck in the bathroom. The best I could really do was politely explain that I was flattered but I had a girlfriend. I was taken aback by this because I'm not normally used to being approached by women. The social expectation is that men are the ones who do the approaching. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if men are expected to do the approaching, is it really so much to bear for a woman to be approached by a man she doesn't find attractive or simply can't entertain anything with and have to turn him down? I haven't been on the receiving end of that too many times, but it's not like it was some harrowing experience that I'll never get over. Although a more common experience that I've had would be for already drunk women to approach me asking me to buy them a drink because I guess I look like that kind of loser or something. Perspective, mate.
But that became untenable pretty quickly, so what I usually do now when I walk onto the subway is...
Geez, are we doing this? Alright, I'll just look at everything so that it seems normal. Looking at the tile, looking at the bag, looking at the floor, looking at the electrical box, looking at the book, and now... But I'm not staring, I'm just glancing, and that's okay, there's nothing wrong with glancing. I glanced at everything. I glanced at the tile. It's completely non-discriminatory. It's like equality. Isn't that what feminists want?
I'm not like those other creepy guys. I'm a cool feminist guy. I was looking at the tile. Tell me I'm a cool guy who understands feminism. Validate me. Tell me I'm a nice guy, you goddamn bitch. This is not going well. Let's get back on track here.
See, so you understand what I'm talking about then. You are a human being. We're all human beings. In the context of riding public transportation, most people just want to be left alone so they can get where they're going, and that's what most people do. It's okay to eye up an attractive person. Just don't be a subway masturbator and you're fine. I learned that the hard way.
I guess the upshot is that the Anti-Social Justice League is right. Universities are where the brainwashing happens. But, and hear me out here, what if brainwashing is just a word for education that you disagree with? I mean, I went into college prepared to mock all of this, and it's not like my spirit was broken and feminism was forced on me with the aid of experimental drugs and hypnosis. I mean, I just kept a somewhat open mind and read a book.
That's what I thought I was doing when I was a feminist, but the more I learned about it, the more I was pushed into a completely different direction from you. I mean, it's not like I'm against this material existing, I'm against the idea that anyone should be forced to get educated in it.
So I guess the moral is, if you want to avoid becoming a feminist, don't read any books about it. Write letters to universities asking them to protect free speech by please banning any courses that disagree with you.
Yeah, that petition was a shit show, but at the very least, none of this material should be mandatory.
And if any woman ever accuses you of being creepy, definitely don't do any serious introspection about it.
The word is thrown around so much. It's like the word fuckboy. It seems to be everywhere now, but no one can ever explain what it means. Urban Dictionary says, a person who is a weak-ass pussy that ain't bout shit. Look at that weak-ass fuckboy. Very helpful. Really though, creepy is in the eye of the beholder. You might ask one girl out a certain way and she'll think it's creepy, but if you asked a different girl in the exact same way, she might be receptive to it.
Because deep down you know that you're not a creep. In fact, you'd better do even more of the thing that she said was creepy, just to prove she's fucking wrong. And because you need to prove that she didn't get to you at all, and that you're not angry.
There are a lot of guys out there who avoid interacting with women solely because they're afraid of being called creepy. And by the numbers, most of them aren't feminists.
Because you looked at the tile, you were looking at the tile, and is it illegal now to have eyes? I was looking at the goddamn tile, Wendy.